Lively.
We're live.
Well, we're live. Okay, yeah. Scott's lively. Kate and I are live.
Yeah.
Arguably.
Thanks, Marge.
So we're gonna spin a minute or two till someone gets on here, and then we're gonna start a jovial half hour of priceless information.
Yep.
I think so.
Yep. That'll raise amazing puppies to great dogs.
Yes.
They can do almost anything, although they do have trouble with algebra, I've noticed.
And they're getting there though.
It's okay, so do I.
Yeah. There you go. So we'll spin the wheels for a minute or two. We got any noise on there, Carol Ann?
One person. It's not telling me who it is.
Wonder if it's our sound man.
It's the guy with
Hey, one person, be patient. We'll be joining you here in just a minute. We're going to kick off here in about 3 minutes. Yours
That
okay?
second win, and he says hello, y'all.
Howdy, Troy. Hey, second. Is that your phone? I just heard a song there, Carol Ann?
Huh?
Is that your, were you hearing us on your phone
Yes,
just
sir.
now?
I can
Sounded,
hear it. Yep.
sounded good, yeah.
says,
Second win says, sound is good.
All right, second, you're the best, man. Are you billing us by the hour or by the month? I need to find out. keep,
No, yeah.
keep bragging on him here. He's going to run up the bill.
So it looks like the weather is gonna get kicked up here finally.
Yeah, we're going to have Texas weather pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yay.
I was hoping I'd get
Yay.
through it, but guess it ain't gonna happen.
We're going to be out there in that hot sun just having a time, right?
Yep.
Troy said it's a freebie.
All right.
Charge.
Are you gonna do a trivia question this week?
Huh?
Or you have a trivia question?
Yeah, we can do a trivia question. We never did answer that other one. Was how high dogs, why dogs...
no one
would
answered that,
feel
did they?
No.
Huh. Well, let's keep it rolling then, huh?
Roll it over. We had that bumper sticker around here.
I won't know those bumper stickers.
Okay, you got it?
I've done enough tricks to get one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Maybe that puppy poop, huh?
Yeah. We had one right up here the other day. If I can find it, you can have it. If not, I'll get you one. I've got some in the house before you leave. What do you think, Miss Mina? You ready? Mina's ready. And our camera person, we know our sound man's in there. Troy's in there. What do you think, Miss Carol Ann? You better? Ready?
Yeah, it says we have 2 on right now.
All right. I like that. Mr. Sinclair,
Yes.
are you red-eyed?
I am ready, sir.
Kate DeRose.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Okay, we are going to start it up here, folks. Hope y'all enjoyed the pause. Now you're going to have to listen to us talk. So, puppies. We're going to try to go over, last week we touched on some very basics, maybe more of use to breeders than to the buyer. This week we're going to push into, I guess you could say a little bit of both. A few things you can look for in a breeder that I want to touch on before you pick your breeder to buy your puppy from. Oh, I may have been upended here. That part, and then what they should be doing, when they should be doing it with those pups when they hit the ground. And then the most important things you can do to raise an amazing dog. And you know, we've learned over the years that, you know, when I was in school, everybody started in the first grade, right, Scott?
Yes.
Then they came along and they said, hey, kindergarten, if you start kindergarten, you'll even better in the first grade, right, Kate?
That's right.
And then they started pre-K. Now, they're talking about babies in the womb. And they can recognize the parents' voices the whole time they're in the womb. And Kate's already done some looking on it, and I've seen some actual really surprising things about puppies learning things while they're also in the womb. So learning can start, I guess, as development starts, huh?
As development starts with talking to your female, talking to the babies, petting the stomach. And I did that with Harmony all the way through. You know, she was annoyed because I wouldn't throw a ball for her,
But you rubber belly, huh?
but I'd rub her belly for her.
Yeah.
And that kind of made up for it a little bit. I think one of the things everyone needs to remember with their puppies that they've taken home recently or the puppies you're about to pick up is that the critical socialization time for your puppy is between 3 weeks and 12 weeks. We've done our part up until you picked your puppy up, but you really need to get them out as much as possible. Until they've had their shots, you want to avoid the dog parks, but you want to get them out in the yard. If you have a nice dog that you can introduce your puppies to start playing with, all kinds of different terrain, whatever's possible, just introduce them to as much as you can, as many different types of people. This is the critical period for these babies.
Could you actually like go to a store and keep them in the cart or not let them touch the ground?
I would. I mean, kind of the same thing I did when Elizabeth was little.
Okay.
You know, you covered that cart with a
Yeah.
blanket and put those babies in there.
Okay.
Most of us are taking from Harmony's litter, since there's basically no shots available right now to most of us. A lot of you took your dogs either to the vet today or you're taking them tomorrow like I am. And when you do that, make it a nice visit for your puppy. Take an old yoga mat, take an old bathroom rug that's got the rubberized back to lay it on the table when they examine your baby, so that he's got something to grip onto. Take a pocket full of dog treats so that when the vet's done giving your puppy a shot, he can give him a dog treat.
Very good, yeah. And there's a lot of the more into it small animal vets that I've run into in this area do that. They're very conscious of, old Dr. McClister and Dr. Cannon in Mansfield, Dr. Wright and Denton. I noticed they even take the vaccine and they warm it up before they give them the shot. And then as soon as they poke them, they stick a treat. So a lot of your vets are wise to that, but Kate's right. Bring your own treat and make sure that pup enjoys that. One question though, as far as getting your pups out at that age, I'm assuming that as long as you're not getting them around dogs that you may or may not know, because the main reason for keeping them sort of isolated is to avoid dog diseases. Is that accurate?
Right, and you want to make sure whoever your puppy's exposed to is vaccinated. And you want to make sure that the area is clean where they're going to be.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I mean, in my yard, the only dogs that have been in my yard are my dogs.
Right.
And that's been for 12, 15 years. Nobody else is in there. I'm not worried about my yard.
So you know.
I know.
So
And my dogs are safe.
So you can get the pups out, like Scott says, take them to the grocery store, take them wherever you want to. But this 3 to 12 week period that's a new one for me. I didn't realize it was that young, but I certainly definitely believe it because I've seen influences that I'll tell you about at the end of this actually. What else you got?
The other thing is, come 16 weeks, 4 months, your puppy's going to be teething. He's going to chew on everything. Give him something to work with. There's tons of really good chew toys out there. It's a good time to start introducing them to Butch's trick and giving them frozen, raw beef bones, rib bones.
Rib bones, right?
With your puppy, you might want to thaw it out a little bit, but that gives them something good to chew on. Helps with the tartar later on.
Yep.
But you don't want to discipline your baby at this point. You want to make sure that everything you're doing is positive reinforcement. So when your puppy's chewing on your flip-flop, give them a toy instead. Give them something else to take care of that chewing.
Yeah, and I can vouch for probably one of the most accomplished. No, I'll go a step further. I'll say the most accomplished dog trainer as far as varied disciplines that he always won at. I've got a gentleman named Thomas Raven with the Danish Air Force. And Thomas, name it, Thomas has not won it, he's excelled at it. He's been the best in the world at it. From ring sport to basic obedience. Like I said, he's done it. He was in charge of he trained the military, the combat dogs going to Afghanistan. That's what he did. And Thomas had a theory that I thought unique. He also raised pups for the Danish military. They pay their soldier boys in the dog training school, they call it, a little extra if they'll help raise their pups, because they do their own pups, unlike America that imports probably 85% of their dogs. Denmark's actually raising their own puppies. Thomas did that, and his belief was you never corrected a dog till he's a year old, period. And his dogs were the boldest, most want-to-do, never-quit dogs I've ever run across in my life. And I know for a fact there's a whole bunch of folks in Afghanistan that was on that other side that would agree with me. Mm-hmm. There was no stopping this guy's dogs. So raise that pup up with the positive. You can use the word no, but like Katie said, don't get on them for chewing on a shoe. Replace it.
So you're saying basically it builds confidence also.
That's it.
Positive reinforcement, but it builds confidence.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Right.
Another thing I want everybody to be aware of, if you're following us on the Facebook page, Western Shepherd Family and Friends, about a week and a half ago, Lisa Lemons did a post that she shared about puppies and their joints and basically the lack of them at this point. Your puppies, right now, their legs are muscles, tendons, ligaments, and nothing's joined together right now. So really be careful with your puppies. Right now, a puppy jumping off a 18-inch, 2-foot couch could really do catastrophic damage to your dog. BJ, you have to especially watch this with Arlo. He's a jumper. He tries it at my house all the time, and he also is climbing on things and trying to jump off of them. So be real careful with them.
It's one of our Western Shepherd pups, by the way, and a future Western Shepherd owner. So just for all of you who are wondering who's BJ, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yep.
Keep that in mind. Go back to the Facebook post that Lisa Lemons did and take a look at that. I think most of you will be really surprised to see that.
Yeah, she's got actual x-rays of puppies at this early stage that you can see where the bones are, where the ligaments, where the tendons are, and Kate's right, it's kind of surprising.
It is surprising. And you want to take it easy with your puppies. You know, at 10 weeks, your puppy's attention span isn't very long. And they also they're like any babies, they need a lot of sleep. You don't want to push for over an hour of stimulation with your puppy, because then they need to go take a nap for 2-3 hours.
Right.
And you'll see that. My puppies that I've got at the house, I've got 2 at my house. I'm turning them loose morning and night with their mom out in the backyard. They spend 15-20 minutes racing around the backyard, jumping branches, doing all that stuff, sometimes doing somersaults. But as soon as I bring them back in, I feed them, I put them back outside to go potty, and they go back in their pen and they're sound asleep in, swear, less than a minute. They're out cold.
Well, and something I told a lot of people that you may not realize, all growth takes place during sleep. You don't grow while you're awake and using your calories and your energy. All sleep or all growth takes place while you're sleeping. So you'll see times when your pups I've had people call me and say, the puppy's been sleeping for 10 hours straight. Every now and then, especially if you're dealing with mastiffs like I have most of my life, you'll get puppies that will literally sleep for 12 hours.
Right.
But they got to grow to be 150 pounds. So if your pup's going through these spells because they grow in spurts, it's not a steady growth. It's
I don't like our kids.
Yep. And they're sleeping a lot, that means they're growing. Let them sleep. What else you got, Miss Kate?
I think the other thing, and this is really specific to Western Shepherds, I think you will all find that the Western Shepherd is the smartest dog you've ever dealt with. Kind of scary smart sometimes. They pick up everything right away, and then they will take it to a whole new level without you teaching them anything. But also remember, we're talking about really no discipline for the first year. You want to do positive reinforcements. When your puppy's doing something naughty, it's kind of like a toddler. Distract them with something else. Now's a good time to start them on their out.
Oh yeah, great idea.
If they've
Yeah.
got, if they've got one toy they're chewing on, you want to teach them to not be aggressive toward you for exchanging or food aggression.
Good plan.
When they're eating, when they're chewing on that bone, come over and take the bone from them, but give them something else in reward. Give them another dog treat, so they're getting something that's a reward. First time they're probably going to growl at you. Maybe the second or third time they're going to growl at you, but the fourth time they're going to know that treat's there, and they're going to give you the bone without any aggravation. Hi, Harmony.
And that's something for all you protection people that are getting into that, and you're teaching. Scott will tell you the control, getting a dog to release, getting a dog to stop fighting is what the most difficult part, Scott?
Yes, it is. I would agree with that.
Yeah, and I never thought about it, but if you start teaching them that release word as a baby in exchange for things,
Right.
you're going to be miles ahead.
Yes.
It's like these puppies, the two that I have at the house, it was a little impossible with 9 of them in my living room. But I did it. But the 2 that I have there now, when I feed them, they obviously know that they're getting fed. They see me fixing it in the kitchen. But I do a front. I tell them to front when I'm getting ready to put that food down. So they're at least associating with something good's going to happen when I say front.
Right.
Do you remember these babies? I think most of you, and from what I'm hearing of those that have taken their puppies home, we've got a pretty good start on housebreaking. We've got one that hasn't had any accidents. I'm waiting to hear from 2 people back tonight. But you just remember, as soon as your puppy wakes up, he needs to go potty. Do not wait. If you wait 15 seconds, it's too late. Take them outside immediately if that's what you're going to do. The same thing, as soon as they eat, take them outside. They need to go potty. What else?
That's
Butch?
good. House breaking, confidence building.
Wait a minute, I'm going to go backwards again. Surprise.
Go.
When you're teaching your dog to out, that's so important to Scott and the other decoys of the world. The easiest thing, and I learned it from Butch, is 2 tennis balls. Harmony would do anything for a tennis ball, but I could not get that girl to out for me and drop that tennis ball. So you get a second tennis ball. As they're coming toward you, you bounce it, get their attention. As soon as they start to drop it, you tell them out. And literally in 20 minutes, your dog will start to figure that out, and it makes it a whole lot easier on the decoy when they know to stop.
Right.
Okay, what if my dog doesn't like balls? Can we, whatever they like, could you do that too?
Whatever they like.
Like a tug or,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
double it
Same
in.
thing. You can flip
Yep,
tugs.
good plan.
Gotcha.
I'm
Yeah.
not playing tug with a Western Shepherd. That's just not going to happen. Yeah. I've gotten face planted too many times.
So if you now, and I said earlier about there's some experiences I've had that shocked me years ago about the influence that mothers have while the pups while they're still in the womb.
Right.
The thing that really alerted me to that thing was, without mentioning areas or names, the Cane Corso breed was getting popular, starting to come over, and I worked with a lot of Corsos, and I had a lady call me from another state, and she wanted to do a pro sports trial, but she also had a problem. She had 2 Cane Corsos that had bitten people. Now, a Corso they're capable of, they take down an elephant, but they're really laid back, probably one of the better temperamented mastiffs that there are. They're just real good natured. And up to that point, my experience with Corsos was they ain't gonna bite nobody. They're just happy-go-lucky unless you train them, and then they're Godzilla fighters. So we went up there for a pro sports trial, and I met her dogs, and that Corso of hers, I mean, you walked in the front door and he was. She had one person who could walk him, some man who came dog walked him. Everyone else, he wouldn't have nothing to do with them. I stayed an extra week to work with these dogs. We got them calm. And I am blown away by the aggressiveness of these dogs. Let me tell you how she kept her mother dogs. This is in a state where everybody has basements.
Oh. So no socialization.
Exactly. The dogs, this was a single lady. She had a teenage son who kind of helped get in the way. And he was supposed to go down and in the basement and she had 3 breeding females, take them outside X number of times a day. He rarely made that. Not only were they in crates to keep them from fighting, in a basement to keep them from fighting each other, they were in crates. And on top of that, most of the time, the mother and the son were yelling at each other.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8 red flags in that statement you just made.
Yeah. And when I saw the chaos in that house, it didn't hit me at first. But as I was working with the 2 adult dogs that were trying to kill everybody, it dawned on me they were raised in that chaotic atmosphere, listening to these people yell at each other, totally isolated.
Probably in the dark half the time.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. And when they did get out in the world, it was a scary damn place.
Right.
So, yes ma'am. 2 questions.
Mm-hmm. Darren is asking, what do you know about the red and black? I don't know if he's saying it's a sable German Shepherd, but he spelled Sabol, S-A-B-O.
Sable, red and black sables, okay. What do I know about them?
Yes.
Okay, the red and black tend to be unique. You have, as far as working lines, you have the number 1 top of the line or East, used to be East German, Czech, Polish lines. They are going to be a dark sable most of the time. The red sables come from West Germany, and they are a show line dog from West Germany, but they're more like they haven't been influenced by the AKC like the people that are selling the show line dogs.
So you've got working dogs with good backs and hips.
Absolutely, the red sables are a solid, good working dog, and they're pretty.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, they really are. So, you can't go wrong with one of those if you raise it right. Remember, folks, it's an undisputed, despite the fact there's genetic people or dog people I know all over selling puppies mostly, they will tell you, you got to have the genetics or the dog won't bite. You got to have the genetics. Genetics are everything. Horse hockey. It's a proven scientific fact. Between nature and nurture, the genetics will give you the clay that can form your dog, but only the education, the nurture, and the raising can make that clay into a beautiful statue. So it's all in the raising. Get you a good red sable, and you're doing well if you raise him right. Listen to Katie; she'll tell you how to do that. Number 2.
Question. Says, how do you deal with a pup when you're doing the socialization and it's reacting to people and dogs?
To people and dogs? Show it more people and dogs. But let me. This
Give
is
it time to recover.
there. You go. Elaborate.
Give your puppy time to recover. Slow people down around your puppy. Slow the dogs down around your puppy. You want to, especially that 8 to 10 weeks, we're going to have the fear factor kick in with the babies. And you still want to introduce them, but you need to give them time to recover. If that requires some extra pets from mom and dad, then that's what you do. But slow people down. Be careful who you introduce your dog to. With the puppies, you don't want 3 and 4-year-olds handling your dog. They can watch a toddler run around, but you don't want them handling it. So just slow it down. Give them time to recover from everything.
Yeah, and remember this one thing. When puppies are reacting to people, it's because it's something new, and that something new is always scary. The greatest cause of bad puppies is fear, and there's nothing more scary than the unknown. So you can't learn when you're scared something's going to fall on you or bake or boil you. So like Katie said, back up, let the pup recover, and then reintroduce. So 2 steps back, 1 step forward.
That's
So-
right. I agree.
And we said we'd touch on breeders. Remember, and this is a pet peeve of mine. You're not going to find. I seriously doubt you're going to find a breeder who's done the extensive work that Kate's got. Can you shine our little cube over here, Carol Ann?
Mm-hmm.
This is something she came up with, and I just made a little makeshift. Hers is really nice. But puppies, at what age did you have this in their run?
Probably 4.5 weeks.
4.5 weeks. And if you go again on that Western Shepherd Family and Friends Facebook page, you can see the puppies in action if you scroll by enough. So this is something that she started. Remember, when you go to a breeder whose puppies are in a barn or a crate or a run or something, 50 yards away from the house because they don't like the smell, I'd turn around and walk off. And then if you find people, there's a lot of them there are a lot of small time breeders who say they raise the puppies in the house with their family. That's the first place I'd look. Check your pedigree, check your genetics, see if the parents have the tendency, propensity, whatever, to do whatever job you want them to do. Then make sure, because Kate just told you, socialization critical is 3 weeks old. Ain't none of you picking up a puppy that's 3 weeks old. If a breeder wants you to at 3 weeks old, that breeder's
Something wrong.
something wrong. So make sure that these pups are getting exposed to the world. Got a little gadget like Kate come up with here to make them something to play with each other, and you're going to have a great dog.
There's a lot of things. I did, what do they call those tilt boards, the exercise boards?
Oh yeah, on the ball.
Put those in the pen for the puppies so that they would learn. It's kind of like their first shot at a ramp, because as soon as they go up on one side, it flips over on them. They've learned with that. Rick and I were talking, Rick Dunham, that does our Western Shepherd genetics. We were talking the other day just about having one of the swivel boards, that's all it does, to teach your dog to keep his front end steady and turn with his back end.
Right.
Everything you do with these puppies will be to your advantage later on, and to your puppy's advantage later on. Just don't do, although we're telling you to do 100 different things with your dog, don't do too much too soon. Don't overwork your puppy. Don't take him out. If you're a jogger, you're not going to take that puppy out even at 6 months to go jogging on the pavement with you. Those legs are still forming, the joints are still coming. You know, when your dog's 2.5 years old, then think about going jogging. But don't excessively exercise them, and don't work them too hard.
Yeah. So I guess that'll pretty much get you growed up.
Yep. So basically, you know, I see a lot of people say, "Oh, your dog's muscular." It's like, yeah, but it didn't happen overnight. They're not born. They got to develop their bone structure first. Like I said, then you can start building, toning your dog. That's
like building a house. You want that frame good and strong first.
Solid. Before you lay the brick around the outside. Yep. So, I guess there was something else I was going to bring up, but I forgot it, so it probably was not that important. If it was, Kate would have already reminded me. So, so the main thing we want you to take away from this is, or I would like you to take away from this is, dogs are pack animals. If you substitute the word family for pack and think of your dog that way, you're going to have a whole lot better handle on how you can raise a really outstanding dog. Is that accurate?
I think so. You put the time and effort in now, and you will have an amazing dog that everybody will be jealous of.
Yep. And then if you want one really amazing, you can get a black Bart puppy and then
and go from there.
Yeah, then you can run for governor of your state.
Yep.
Hey folks, I hope a lot of people get some information from this, and we hope it helps a lot of people with their pups. Till then, Kate DeRose, Scott Sinclair, our agitator. Good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night.